are a dynamic economy, and we're a dynamic economy because we've had the foresight that of all working together to make jobs, to improve the environment by using logical, common sense methods of doing this regulation.
Will the gentleman yield on that?
I certainly will.
Just common sense. We're beginning the redistricting process now, and the state of Texas is going to gain 4 additional congressional seats, which means our population between 2000 and 2010 has increased approximately 3 million people. My question to you, would people be coming to Texas if the quality of life was decreasing, if the environmental quality was decreasing, or would they be coming to Texas because it's actually a better place to live and it has economic opportunity?
And that's reclaiming my time. That's exactly what's going on, Mr. Martin. And they're all indications. You can stop your new neighbors and ask them why they came, and they will tell you because Texas is where things are happening. It's where you have a tax structure that we can prosper in business under, and yet it's a fair tax structure. You have you are doing things right so that rather than throwing up roadblocks to new businesses, you are throwing up enhancements to make it easier for new businesses to come and prosper. And not the big monstrous refineries, the little bitty mom and pops. Some of those mom and pops are now a chain of mom and pop stores that are all over the state and soon to be all over the nation, because Texas gets it makes sure they follow basic rules, and we don't turn people loose, but we come up with methods where government and industry work together to solve problems.
And if the gentleman would yield for another question.
Yes.
Name a state that has one of the most rigid, restrictive, so-called protective environmental regulatory schemes in the nation.
California.
Okay. The gentleman's correct. Name the state that has the largest net out-migration from its state to Texas.
California.
The gentleman's correct again.
That's right.
So here you have a state that is noted for its state regulatory protection regulations at the state level, and yet that state has one area, the Los Angeles Basin, that has been in the worst category of non-attainment for 2 decades, and has, I think I'm correct in saying this, I wish we had some of my friends from the great state of California on the floor, they could correct me if I'm wrong, that particular region has not exhibited any measurable increase in air quality in spite of the most rigid regulations. And that state has exhibited the largest net outward migration of population to Texas. I don't think that's serendipity, Congressman. I think that's because we have strong environmental protection in Texas. Our air quality is improving, the quality of life is improving, but because of our flexible approach, you still can create jobs in Texas, and there are lots of folks around the country that want to take part of that and become part of that.
And as we fight this fight is just not an oil and gas fight. This is going to affect power plants around the country that are operating under natural gas, coal, oil, any kind of hydrocarbon. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what's going to happen in this arbitrary decision by the EPA against the will of the Congress and the American people. We've had 2 years of doing things against the desired will of the American people, and the American people spoke in the last election. It's time for us to make common sense decisions and do what makes sense. It makes no sense to let people operate under a system that works for 15 years and then come in and say, implement this immediately. We're not giving you 3 years to implement it. You will do it now. And when we said, no, wait a minute, we bow our backs up and say, let's play by the rules, they say, fine, we never did get around to giving you the official letter approving your flex permit system, so here's your official letter, it's denied. and because you're not doing anything about it, we're going to come in and take over your permitting system. I don't think the average American thinks that's the way anybody ought to operate. And it's not the way I think anybody ought to operate it. And I would be surprised if it's not the way a majority of the people in this House think these agencies ought to operate. And, you know, we always hear the idiot, crazy things that they come out in the newspaper, and you'll see some of them, maybe, I hope. But just to let you know that it's not just in this industry where new regulations are going to be going strange. There's a proposed regulation that's going to be affecting Texas for sure, and a whole lot of other states in this union. They want to regulate dust. And so if you've got a dusty road driving up to your ranch house or to your personal house, they want to come in and regulate the dust that's kicked up in the summertime when it's hot behind your car. And the solution that they came up with for this in California, the place where they have the drought in the Central Valley, a shortage of water, the solution California came with was water down your road every day. Take the water you need for the plants and for people and squirt it on the road to keep dust from going up in the air. Now, like Mr. Gohmert said, we used to laugh and say someday the government's going to regulate what the air we breathe and the food we eat. And lo and behold, they are. And it's going on right now. So this is just the beginning, as Joe said, this is just the beginning of this, bringing to the attention of the American people this regulation, what they're doing to Texas, standing up for our fellow Texans who are standing up for our state's compliance record and standing up for our state's ability to create an environment where people can have a job and they can pay their own way in good industry jobs. And we're standing up for those people. We're making sure that we don't lose those great jobs in Texas because of this regulatory agency. And this is only the beginning of the fight. There's more to come. And we're going to fight not only on this regulation, but on many, many more. And we'll be bringing them to let the American people see that the regulators can be dictators. And I want to just correct one thing Mr. Gohmert said. We're no longer having a moratorium on drilling. I was told today by one of my constituents, we're having a permitatorium. They said, oh yes, the moratorium's lifted. You just have to get a permit, and so far there haven't been any permits. I yield back to Mr. Barton.
I just want to make one non-scientific comment. I flew this morning from DFW Airport up to Reagan Airport to attend this session of Congress. The DFW area is home to approximately 3 million people, a number of power plants, lots of industry, electronics, general aviation, defense. I flew into Washington, which has almost no industry. The air was clear at DFW. And when we came into Reagan, I looked out the window and I thought, man, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to our international friends over in Poland, but it did remind me of the last time, which was several years ago, when I flew into Warsaw, and the air was so thick that you could see it. I don't know what the issue is here in the Washington region today, but when we flew into Reagan, it was noticeably hazier and browner flying in than it was when I left DFW, where the air was absolutely crystal clear. Now, that's non-scientific, but I would invite anybody who thinks we've got an air quality problem in Texas to come to Dallas or to go to Houston, drive out along the Houston Ship Channel, go down to Corpus Christi outside the major refineries on the Gulf Coast, and you'll see a success story. What you won't see is air pollution that's caused by industry in Texas. Their compliance record is excellent, and they've got the facts to back it up.
Thank you. At this time, we'll yield back what little time we have. We'll remind everybody that the stars are still bright, big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. Thank you.
The gentleman yields back.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House adjourn.
The question is a motion to adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. Accordingly, the House stands adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow for morning hour debate.
Today in the House, members debated the rules for a bill to reduce federal spending measures to fiscal year 2008 levels.